the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out.
Hello, Miami. Thank you so much for watching 305 Sports Now. I am your host, Will. And today we take a little bit of a break from football as we enter once again the world of combat sports, as we once again bring in somebody first from the mixed martial arts world, but is making her debut as a female boxer sooner rather than later, joining us today in 305 Sports Now. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to hear this name in the future on a regular basis. The Peruvian Puma, Alessandra Pajuelo. Alessandra, how's it going? How you doing? ¿Cómo estás?
Hola, ¿cómo estás? How are you? Super happy for be here with you.
Thank you. I appreciate you for coming on. As well, happy to have you. And I just want to let you know that you are the first boxer we've ever had on 305 Sports Now. We've had a couple of MMA fighters. We've had a CEO of a local MMA fighting promotion, but you are officially the first boxer to come onto the show. So thank you very much for gracing us with your presence. One of the things I like. Oh no, of course, you're welcome. You're welcome. But one of the things I like to do, okay, I like to baptize per se my guests onto my show. I like to do an origin story. So I'd like the audience to get to know you, pass the gloves, get to know the person that is Alessandra Pajuelo, okay, the Peruvian Puma, right? So tell us about your childhood, su niñez, growing up in Peru. What city in Peru were you born in? And also, what was your childhood and upbringing like? You have the floor, young lady.
Okay, I am from Peru. I was born in Lima, in the capital, Lima, Peru. So I growing up in Peru was the best thing that ever happened to me, because the same adversities of the system made me strong, no? Adversities like unexpected situations, pain, trials, or disappointments. I talk about the system of Peru, the corruption. You know what I mean?
Before the show started, you told me that you had a very strong relationship with your mother and I believe your grandmother. Tell us what that was like and how that helped you get through all your adversity that you were talking about.
Yeah, my upbringing when I was a little was my upbringing when I was little was a bit cold. I started to become hard from a very young age, but but still thanks to the love of my mom and my grandma, I became a good human being.
Okay, that's very good. And so I want to get to know a little bit about you in this regard. What attracted you to mixed martial arts? You started first in mixed martial arts before you entered the world of boxing. So where did you? What made you say, you know what? I want to beat people up for a living and so on, and get inside an octagon and a cage. So what attracted you first to mixed martial arts? Because you're pretty good at it. Because from what I read, you were actually regional champion, I believe, in Peru, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what made you want to get into it? What made you get? ¿Qué fue el deseo que te dio para entrar en la arte mezclada?
Okay. First, was for self defense. Then I realized that I had something inside me like a warrior spirit that I always make mental demands on myself. So I grew up in the middle in the violence with my family. So it is for this.
So okay, so you're saying that you grew up with violence in your family. Is that what hardened you to try to be a bit more, take more self-defense classes, and then later on jump into more of a combat sport perspective? La situación en su
Yeah,
familia. Go ahead, explica,
yes,
explain.
yes. For this situation with my family, um, I had something inside me like a warrior spirit that I always makes me make mental demands on myself.
Okay. All right. So, but I gotta ask the question. So, how old were you when you first started doing mixed martial arts, and how did you feel when you had your first fight? Were you nervous? Were you ready to go? The life experience kind of made you prepare you for that. So, how old were you? And I know it's a loaded question, but how old were you when you first started, and how did you feel in your first fight?
Okay. In my first fight professional in MMA, o sea, I talk about my first fight professional. So I had five fights amateur in MMA.
Mhm.
So I talk now about my first professional fight. So I felt nervous and I was afraid get hit in my ear because in my camp I'm trained a lot of wrestling and
Mhm.
in the process I got my first left cauliflower ear and then only that. So it was a amazing experience. So it the only thing I felt was a nervous. Okay, in my every fight I feel nervous. When I inside in the cage, my nervous left leave. So okay.
How long, when you're in the cage, do all of a sudden your nerves leave? Like, does it with the beginning of the fight? Is it after maybe the first round or
In the
halfway through the
second
first round?
round,
The second round?
my
Oh, okay,
my, my nervous leave in the second round. Yeah,
okay.
because in the first round it's like I I did a study. I see her movements. It's always with ¿cómo se dice? No, no, ya me olvidé la palabra.
Precarious or
¿Ah?
precautious? Precautious?
Yeah,
Precaution?
precautious. Yeah.
There we go.
Uh-huh.
So you're doing fine.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to ask a question. Okay, where does the nickname Peruvian Puma come from? Who gave you that nickname? ¿Quién te dio la Puma de Perú?
Yeah. Okay, we choose the nickname because the puma represent in Peru like a strange wisdom. Wisdom because I have thought a lot to make good decisions and above all the agility that I had in my work inside and outside of the gym. Uh, ¿Lo puedo decir en español como para darte una idea?
Sí, lo traduzco, sí. No,
Bueno,
no se preocupe.
nosotros escogimos este nickname porque representa la fuerza, la sabiduría para yo poder tener buenas decisiones y sobre todo la agilidad que yo tengo en mi trabajo dentro y fuera del gimnasio.
Okay. Yeah, she basically, for those who don't understand Spanish, she said that she chose that nickname because of the strength and wisdom that it brings, and all the strength and agility that she picks up from the gym. She attributes it to the Puma. That's why she was given that nickname in her native town nation of Peru. Okay, so now we got the nickname
Yeah.
out the way, and so all right. So your manager Steve and I go way back. Okay, I've known Steven for a very long time, and when he first told me about you, he told me that you were a MMA fighter transitioning to boxing. So from what I've read, you're pretty good at the whole mixed martial arts aspect of things. Boxing is a little different in terms of training and whatnot. Maybe I'm wrong. You could explain that to me. What made you want to go from MMA and you know what? I'm gonna be a professional fighter. ¿Por qué fue la decisión de ser MMA y decir, concho, voy a ser una boxeadora?
Okay, I made the switch from MMA to boxing because I wanted to participate in a future professional boxing. O sea, it's on my dreams, you know. Personally, boxing gave me more emotional support and confidence because now I have a team and we are working together. It only took me a week to choose between MMA or boxing. So everything I achieved with MMA, if we talk about the troubles and everything I did to get hit, was all on me. Everything. And but now in boxing, I have 100% support in many angles of my life. It's different. So I have a one coach, very intelligent. He protect me, you know. So the difference in MMA, I had some managers, so they give me fights. Um, he gave me fight, so I accepted the fight. So my second fight I lost because they robbed they stolen my fight. The second
Okay.
that was in Czech Republic. So I don't
Oh,
know.
wow. Okay. Wow.
Yes. So my last fight I lost because was my first year in United States. So the life when you are immigrate, no, is difficult. So I begin my life here was difficult. O sea, mi vida fue difícil, pero como que mi cabeza, my mind, no estuvo nunca como que muy enfocada como para poder aceptar la pelea, ¿me entiendes? O
Okay.
sea, la última pelea que yo tuve la acepté porque dije, bueno, la voy a aceptar. No pensé porque no tenía nadie que me diga, no tenía alguien que me haga pensar. Simplemente la acepté porque la acepté y bueno, mi salud mental tampoco estaba tan bien, pero de hecho es porque estaba sola, pero ahora ya no.
Okay. I'm going to translate what you said. Okay. Basically, what she was, if I could sum it up, she talked about that her second fight in which she lost, she wasn't in the right headspace because she really didn't have any support. The people who were surrounding her and giving her advice, all they were doing is giving her advice. They weren't really counseling her. She immigrated over here, and the transition from one country to another isn't very easy. So her mental health wasn't really in that bout per se. But now things have gotten better, and she's got people around her in the boxing world that have her best interests at heart, and she's more well prepared as a boxer because she's got the right personnel to help her get to where she needs to go. Todo correcto, ¿lo dije bien?
Exacto, todo bien.
Gracias. Thank you. Thank you. I want to
Sí.
ask you something. I know this wasn't part of the questions, but you got me you got me thinking a little bit. Um, so you grew up, in rough circumstances in Peru, and you mentioned you traveled to the Czech Republic for one of your fights. I've always wanted to go there, so I want to ask you a question. What's it like traveling? Going from where you grew up in Peru to all of a sudden traveling the world. How is it? What goes on in your mind? When you have those opportunities.
Um, no sé. I think always live to my country. So I am the only one. I don't have brothers and
Okay.
sisters. So when I start my career in MMA, so I knew que MMA no iba a ser como algo, no iba a tener un futuro en Perú. Entonces como que decidí viajar. Primero fui a Europa. I went to Europe. Um, yo firmé mi primer contrato con un manager y fui a Polonia y estuve casi como 2 semanas entrenando allá. Entonces, Bueno, yo creo que siempre, desde que me fui de Perú, siempre traté de viajar para poder buscar oportunidades hasta que llegué aquí.
Okay. Okay. Le gustó el viaje? Did you like traveling when you got the chance, or you rather stay in one place for a considerable amount of time?
¿Te refieres a Polonia?
Bueno, sí, si te gusta viajar o prefieres mantenerte en un lugar por largo tiempo, más estable, por
Ok,
decir.
ya, sí, sí, me gusta viajar.
Okay. She says she loves to travel. She says she enjoys traveling. So I do have to ask a question now about boxing. As far as training goes, you don't have to train your whole body because boxing is more done with the hands. So what I want to ask you is the was it difficult to you for you to go from being used to training MMA style to training in boxing? ¿Te fue más difícil? ¿Te fue difícil la transición en entrenamiento del lo que era MMA al boxeo o le fue más fácil?
No, sí, me fue súper fácil porque es como que yo cuando comencé a hacer MMA, yo hacía lucha libre y boxeo, ¿no? Mi profesor Takeshi Nakamura me enseñó a boxear primero y luego hice grappling y creo que estuve siempre perfeccionando el boxeo en toda mi carrera de MMA. Siempre me enfoqué mucho en los puños. Siempre traté de entrenar boxeo porque yo sentía que boxeo era como que boxeo puede determinar una pelea con un simple puño.
Yeah, she basically from what I asked her, she said that the transition to boxing was easy when she was really practicing MMA. Her main two focus, the main two focus, the style she focused mostly on was wrestling and boxing. So the transition was easy, and she said, if as far as ending fights goes for her, she prefers doing it with her fist. Ahora la condición y todo eso comparado a MMA y el boxeo. ¿Cuál es la diferencia entre MMA y boxeo? Si haces más pesas, si haces más pesas, por ejemplo, para darle más fortaleza a los brazos, los hombros, del upper body, por decir, o más o menos lo mismo. Is what I'm trying to ask her is when training from MMA to boxing, does she use more, let's say, weightlifting to strengthen her upper body, or is it kind of the same as far as bag punching, the weights she was doing prior before she joined boxing?
Um, ok. Mm, Cuando comencé a hacer boxeo, hice mi cambio hace como 3 meses, ¿no? Empecé haciendo boxeo el primer mes, solo boxeo, y el segundo mes empecé a entrenar physical conditioning.
Yeah, she said her first month she did nothing but boxing. Second month she focused on physical strength and conditioning.
Yes. Um, when I started boxing, we started with BCA Performance. My trainer, his name is Jack, and he is an expert in physical conditioning specific to boxing. We have training, stability, strength, explosions, cardio separately. I have a very good result in a couple months. So the difference in MMA to boxing, I don't know. MMA is everything.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, en realidad, cuando yo comencé a hacer MMA en una escuela de MMA, yo ya hacía MMA, o sea, como que era MMA, no puedo comparar, no podíamos separar entre jiu-jitsu, boxeo, lucha libre. Realmente MMA ya es algo completo, ¿no? Se perfecciona muchos ángulos, pero yo te cuento, yo cuando comencé a entrenar antes de hacer peleas de contacto mucho más duro que el boxeo y el MMA, yo hacía capoeira.
Okay. All right. So If I miss anything, let me know. Okay, so basically what she was saying is that MMA, you train in everything. Okay, you train in everything, you know, within MMA, the whole thing. Like you train for boxing, you train for wrestling, Muay Thai as well. Boxing is obviously a bit more concentrated, but before she got into any style, she did capoeira, which is a Brazilian martial art. Did I miss anything?
Yes.
What did
So
I miss?
MMA, I love MMA. So
Okay.
sometimes MMA, I feel me hacía sentir frustrated. So sometimes no tenía días buenos en jiu-jitsu o a veces me iba mal no sé, era como que tenía que tener 100% en foco y todo, pero no sé. De hecho, boxeo es totalmente diferente. Siento que de una cierta forma, yo creo que es un poco más agresivo que MMA, porque MMA es como que tú siempre estás en constante movimiento, estás como que siempre a la alerta si te va a entrar a piernas o va a tirarte, no sé, un puñete o algo. En cambio, en boxeo es como que el arte de dar y no recibir.
Okay. I'm gonna translate what you said, and then you're gonna explain that. What do you mean by giving and not taking? All right. So what she basically said is that she would have her bad days sometimes at MMA. Like for example, she would have a bad jujitsu day every so often. But she said that boxing is a much more aggressive form of fighting. Okay, it's a more of aggressive form of fighting. Whereas MMA, you know, it's a bit more. I guess she's referring to it being a bit more technical as well. Ali, but she also said at the end there that you give more than you take in boxing. I want her to kind of explain that. Ali, what did you mean by giving more than taking, recibiendo y no cogiendo? Like, what do you en qué te refieres?
Que el arte de dar y no recibir es el hecho de cuando uno golpea y uno ¡pum! Esquiva, ¿me entiendes?
Okay.
La
All right, there
cosa
we go.
es
She's talking
que
about basic striking and weaving. So she strikes, but she can't. You give basically you strike, but then you can't take the shot right back. You try to avoid taking the shot. Okay, there we go. Okay, gracias.
y
Thank you
la,
very much
difer-
for that one.
y la diferencia entre MMA es que si no te cae un puñete, te cae una patada. Y si no te cae una
Yeah,
patada, te entran a piernas. Y si te entran a piernas, te estás finalizada.
yeah. So
Pucha.
yeah, so MMA is completely unpredictable because you bob and weave in boxing, but if you weave in boxing, you might be open up to take a double like takedown. You might be put in a triangular choke as well. You could be put in an arm bar. If someone's kicking but they don't land their kick, they may come back with a strike, you know, to your face. So there's a bit more unpredictability with MMA, whereas in boxing, you know, it's just your hands and just get the hell out the way, basically, pretty much. Am I right, Ali?
MMA is for crazy people.
Well, the Tarago brothers love it. I'll tell you that much. Okay.
Yeah.
Steven and Elio love MMA. Okay, they love it. Actually, so do I.
So I miss in train MMA.
Yeah.
But no, it's my time. My time is boxing now.
Okay.
I will be champion world is my goal.
There
I
you go.
will be champion world. Lo voy a hacer. Es mi siempre, de hecho, siempre creo que en mi carrera la meta siempre ha sido ser campeona mundial. Pero ahora estoy mucho más decidida con el boxeo, me siento muy segura, muy confiada. ¿Por qué? Porque no estoy sola en esto. Estoy con personas que están ayudándome, están fortaleciendo mi confianza y creo que todo se lo agradezco mucho al boxeo. De hecho, MMA no me lo pudo dar, pero nada, gracias a todo este soporte que yo estoy recibiendo gracias al boxeo, pues voy a destacarlo. Voy a destacar el boxeo hasta más no poder.
For those who don't speak Spanish, she basically said that her main goal is to be champ. As well, she's very grateful to boxing for giving her the opportunity to achieve her goals as well. She owes everything to boxing as well. So that's pretty much summing up what she was saying. Ali, you have any upcoming fights? Maybe some people could go watch you, brawl it out.
So I will be fight next year in February, maybe March.
Okay.
So this year I don't have fight because I need learn more. I need to study the angles, the boxing, son cosas que debo aprender todo el mundo, pero estamos yendo por buen camino, estamos teniendo buenos resultados.
Okay. Well, very good, Ali. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, I hope you had fun on the show, giving us your life story. So you're always welcome to come back on whenever you want, or whenever you have a fight that you want to promote on the show as well. Is there any social media where anyone could follow you so they can keep up with your up and coming career? Hay redes sociales que te pueden seguir las personas para poder ver su progreso en el boxeo en su futuro carrera.
Utilizo Instagram. I have Instagram like Ali Pajuelo. ¿Cómo se dice cuando es guión abajo?
Underscore.
Okay. My social media is Instagram. Is the social media what I more use. Is Ali Pajuelo underscore Ali Pajuelo underscore 98.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us. I'm sorry, underscore. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Ali. Very happy to have you on as well. I just want to let everyone know as well, if you like this interview, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to 305 Sports Now. I just want to let you guys know on Thursday, 9 p.m., I will be going live, all right? It is FSU Hate Week. It's FSU Hate Week, so I will be going on live, and I'll be having a couple guests on. You will find out on Thursday who those guests are. She's flashing her social media right now. There we go. Ali Pajuelo underscore 98 underscore. Okay, so please follow her on social media, on Instagram. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Guys, if you like what you heard, like I said, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to 305 Sports Now. Ali Pajuelo, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody, God bless. See you soon. Bye-bye.